Gohan Black. What if Zamasu took Gohan's body instead of Goku's? It's a pretty popular what if in the Dragon Ball fandom, and it's a concept that's gone as far as being explored in the official material, like Sparking Zero. Now, I have seen countless people say that if it was Gohan Black instead of Goku Black, that the arc would be significantly better and that it would pave the way for a much stronger story overall or whatever. And I cannot for the life of me understand why. Look, I've played through the what if story in Sparking Zero, I've watched Totally Not Mark's rewrite, I've read through people's points on how it would be better or whatever, and I have yet to be convinced. The anime version of the Goku Black arc, ending aside, clears all these other versions in my opinion. And I'll get into that why, because that's the whole reason this video exists. Right, the way this video works is, I'm going to start off with the Sparking Zero version, talk about my thoughts on that and whatnot, and then after that we'll get to all the fan stuff and Mark's rewrite and whatnot. And I'm not going to be bringing up the ending of the Goku Black arc at all, since it being Goku Black instead of Gohan Black isn't the reason for the ending being different. It's just the body Zamasu takes has absolutely no impact on that whatsoever, so I'm not going to be discussing it at all. Anyways, enough beating around the bush. Time to explain why I think
I am beauty. I am grace. I am the ultimate.
Alright, first things first, I'm not using this video to say I hate Gohan Black.
I am.
'Cause I don't. I think he's... Bro.
Also, I'm here. I'm Solar Animations. What's good? Yeah, yeah. What's good? I'm here.
This is Solar. He's got my back. He can write a 15-minute analysis of Super Saiyan Rage just like mowing lawn.
Hell yeah.
His Super Saiyan Blue Goku figurine collection traps the souls of its victims.
I have indeed done that. Let's go.
I'm not using this video to say I hate Gohan Black, because I don't. I think he's cool, and he's easily the highlight of Sparking Zero's what-ifs. I like him as a what-if, just not as a replacement for what we got. So if you like Gohan Black, I'm there with you. But if you think it should have been him instead of Goku Black, this video is going to explain why that just does not work, at least in my eyes. And Solar's eyes too, I guess. Alright, let's start off with Zamasu's motivations for taking Goku's body in the first place. We'll just get through that real quick. Although Goku's strength was definitely a factor, it wasn't the sole reason Zamasu decided to do it. At least in the anime. Mostly. The two things responsible for leading Zamasu to take Goku's body was Goku beating Zamasu in a fight and having God Ki. Now, Zamasu views mortals as life forms well below that of the gods. He views them as simple-minded and driven by primal urges, incapable of changing for the better. Then, out of nowhere, comes the God of Destruction and his attendant, two deities ranked higher than Zamasu, and with them is a mortal, Goku. Not only have they brought a mortal into the sacred land of the Kais, a place reserved for gods, but this mortal proceeds to annoy and inconvenience Zamasu throughout the duration of his visit, not showing any respect despite Zamasu's higher status. Then, Zamasu is forced to fight this mortal, only to learn just before the fight begins that they've previously fought the God of Destruction they came here with, and lived to brag about it. The two fight, and Zamasu loses. This is the first fight Zamasu has ever lost, and it was to a mortal. A being below him. This loss for Zamasu is absolutely humiliating. And then to make matters worse, Zamasu later finds out that this same mortal that bested him is also capable of accessing God Ki, something that should only be wielded by actual gods in his eyes.
A mortal. A mere mortal taking divine power for himself.
Anyways, the reason I bring all this up is because it's kind of hard to keep all of this same stuff when replacing Goku with Gohan. Easiest one to explain first, Gohan doesn't have God Ki, meaning Zamasu has less of a reason to hate him. Now, Sparking Zero actually does address this and tries to make a workaround with Zamasu hating Gohan's ultimate form, because it kind of feels like a mockery of God Ki.
In the past, you have drawn on your innermost strength, separate from your Saiyan power. Well, I too can draw on my innermost strength as a god! Innermost strength? Wait, how do you know about that ritual the Elder Supreme Kai performed with me? I know all. I know that the Saiyans are a race of barbarians at heart. So of course, why wouldn't you pursue attaining the closest thing to godship? More insulting still, your fight with Universe 6 was pure arrogance. Flaunting that ill-received power as if you were superior to the gods themselves.
I am beauty, I am grace, I am the ultimate.
I am beauty. I am grace. I will punch you in the face.
No, but now.
Videl, no!
That's not me.
That's not me, Videl! Videl!
He's gonna slap you.
Go on! He's cucking your wife, go on! Go on!
If becoming immortal means embrace.
If becoming immortal means embracing you.
But that still doesn't make sense for Zamasu. Like, you're meaning to tell me he takes more offense to Gohan having his power awakened by a deity, even though that power is literally his own dormant potential, rather than Goku and Vegeta, who straight up use God forms and use God Ki?
You are mortal, Saiyans, yet you've gained divine power. You're stronger than most deities now. Thus, those who created this cosmos have made something they could not control. And if one can't control a world, one can't be called a god of it.
It's like someone having more of a problem with a kid waving around a water pistol than a kid waving around an actual gun. Him hating Gohan's form is just a lot more confusing and harder to explain than his hatred of Goku's god forms. Anyways, second thing, Zamasu losing the fight. Now, although it could still work with Gohan in Goku's place, given that the fight still happens in this version, it'd still be a bit of a downgrade. Firstly, Gohan probably would have treated Zamasu with more respect than Goku did, so Zamasu wouldn't have felt nearly as disrespected as he did in the anime. Super Goku's childish attitude aside, we've seen Goku act casually with other gods he's expected to respect before, so his attitude infuriating an egomaniac like Zamasu makes sense. Gohan would have probably treated Zamasu how Zamasu would expect a sensible mortal to address him. There's also the fact Gohan wouldn't have brought up fighting a god of destruction, unless he wanted to talk about how he got his ass handed to him. So Zamasu's curiosity about Gohan would purely have to do with their fight. Again, Zamasu losing to Gohan could still work because of Zamasu's ego, but without the other stuff Goku provides, it just feels weaker as a result. Another thing I just wanted to touch up on real quick is the irony of Zamasu and Goku's meeting. As I said earlier, Zamasu's got a very narrow mindset about mortals, and he doubts that they'd be capable of positive change. Yet, when he finally meets Goku, a mortal who came from a barbaric and violent race, yet has spent his entire life influencing others and inspiring the best in people, turning even murderous psychos into decent people, the literal perfect example of why Zamasu is wrong. Yet because of Zamasu's arrogance and ego, he is blinded to this. That's another thing you wouldn't have if it was Gohan. Look, Gohan's a pretty cool dude and all, but he doesn't have nearly the same amount of impact on other people like Goku does, so that irony isn't really there anymore. There's also the fact that the parallels between Gohan Black and Gohan are basically non-existent in comparison to Goku Black and Goku. Goku Black shares Goku's same love for battle, but taken to a much more obsessive and creepy extreme. Like a dark reflection of Goku, basically. But because Gohan Black acts just like Goku Black, and Gohan doesn't have that same love for battle, the parallel just completely falls flat. Like, I guess you could kind of make the argument that Gohan Black is acting this way because it's supposed to be some sort of dark reflection of what Gohan could have been if he was what Goku expected him to be in the Cell arc, but also the story never really explores that, and it doesn't get brought up either, so it still doesn't really work.
Having given it a lot of thought, I think for me where Gohan Black falters a little is within the narrative itself. I'll start off mild with Future Bulma's death. Sparking Zero doesn't really go into details about how it happens in that version, so I'm just gonna assume it goes about the same way as it did in the anime. Bulma and Gohan don't really have as close of a connection compared to her and Goku. Therefore, him being the last face she sees doesn't really carry much weight. Compare this to Goku Black, with the last face Bulma sees being the face of the first friend she ever made in the series. It's the face of one of her greatest and oldest friends that ends her life. And that is just way more haunting than if it was Gohan. Secondly, because of Gohan's inclusion in the story, and him and Gohan Black's rivalry being at the forefront, Goku and Vegeta don't really have a role in the story anymore. Gohan of course takes Goku's role, so now Goku doesn't have anything to do, other than just kinda be there. Granted, they do share a cute father-son Kamehameha, but it's ultimately just a reference for the sake of it. I feel my major gripe with how Goku is treated in the Gohan Black story is that you miss out on the great moment where he snaps after finding out the truth about how Zamasu stole his body.
You took my body. You took my life. Then you even killed Chi-Chi and Goten. You're gonna regret telling me that, Zamasu. Cause now I'm mad. I'm really, really mad. And now it's time to pay!
Goku's pure rage over the death of his family isn't something we see often, and it's really touching to see just how much it hits him. Plus, the back end he does to Zamasu is just too damn good. It's so cool. I love it to pieces. I especially love how cunning Zamasu is in that moment, though. He specifically uses Goku's own anger to his advantage to get stronger. With that point-blank ki blast from Black being the ultimate twisting of the knife, it's so evil. And then you've got Vegeta. His rivalry with Black is straight up gone. Obviously, he'd still want to avenge Future Bulma's death, but any actual character moments from him is just lost. Vegeta's goal was to teach Trunks that he should aim to get stronger himself, and not solely rely on their strength. But when Gohan's tied to this narrative, suddenly Trunks has to be tied down as well. And then, of course, there's Vegeta's iconic speech to Black. This speech cannot work with Gohan. It just can't. Don't get me wrong, I think Vegeta's respect for Gohan is an underappreciated aspect of his character, but it just simply doesn't hit the same as it does with his rival. Not to mention how Zamasu's motive... This bird, I tell you. This fucking bird! Not to mention how Zamasu's motive for taking Gohan's body being that of his potential is something Vegeta's speech is supposed to call out as something he doesn't care for.
His body was built from a lifetime of intense battles, but you took it. It's all second-hand. You feel the power in those Saiyan cells, but you don't truly understand it because you didn't build it, and you'll never learn to think like that clown.
That speech highlights Vegeta's annoyance with Zamasu attempting to take a cheap shortcut without understanding the hardships that Goku fought to attain that strength. If Zamasu had taken Gohan's body, learned to tap into that potential of his, and that's how he gained his strength, then there's nothing for Vegeta to rant about. The speech doesn't work. Now, Trunks is a funny case since he does get to keep his prominent role in the arc, but even then, Gohan just hogs the spotlight. I mentioned earlier how Trunks felt tied down to Gohan. Every time Gohan is present, Trunks has to always be with him. I feel this goes against Gohan's original inclusion in the arc. In the anime, Trunks got to see a life where his master got to settle down with a family. Trunks' response to this being the most important, as he envisions a future where he gets to settle down too. This encounter not only allows Trunks closure to know Gohan got to be happy, but it also inspires Trunks to keep on fighting for the same future for himself and humanity. Then, there's his relationship with Zamasu. Where do I begin? Okay, first, you lose the irony of Goku Black's creation being born from Trunks giving Goku the heart virus. Wait. Motherfucker, I typed it in the script too! First, you lose the irony of Goku Black's creation being born from Trunks giving Goku the cure to the heart virus. Not only did his time travel encourage Zamasu that mortals were sinners, but he inadvertently created his worst enemy by saving Goku.
What I saw in that ring box is a testament to the unforgivable chaos you wreaked upon the cosmos. How many times have you traveled between past and future? You first defied time to save Goku when he was supposed to die of a heart illness, isn't that right? If he had died as history originally recorded, time would not have been split. He would never have challenged me, and I would not have had to take his body.
There would not be an alliance of Zamasus from two separate timelines. The warping you caused made this possible. All this horror, as you deem it, it all begins with you.
You simply do not get that level of dramatic irony if it's Gohan Black. Sure, it's the face of his dead mentor, but the problem with that is, Trunks has already gotten over Gohan.
That one was for my friends. This one's for me. And my teacher, Gohan. This is for Gohan!
All Zamasu has done is just slightly piss him off, but that really isn't as interesting to me in comparison to the idea he created Goku Black. And finally, this is probably a hot take, but I think removing the Sword of Hope scene is a bad decision. Call it a Deus Ex Machina all you want. It holds a lot of thematic weight, which reflects everything the arc was building towards. Trunks has fought hard to protect humanity from this egomaniac with a messiah complex. Zamasu has constantly deemed mortals as worthless, as they are mindless creatures who bear nothing but destruction. Yet here, Trunks stands, a beacon of hope, and the answer to Zamasu's own hypocrisy. Humanity versus the false god Zamasu. Trunks holds up his broken sword, held up by the last of his energy, his spirit put on the line. The last remaining mortals unite, offering Trunks their energy, proving that humanity can come together to bring down a common enemy, and that Zamasu was wrong, as mortals can do anything when they work together. Mark, you're wrong, it's good! That moment is powerful, and it would honestly be my favorite finale to an arc had it not been for everything that came afterwards. Regardless, the Sword of Hope is a great moment for Trunks, and you simply miss out on it if it's Gohan Black instead. At the end of the day, when you include Gohan into this story, he hogs all the spotlight. Say what you will about the Goku Black arc, but I absolutely love how Goku, Vegeta, and Trunks are given an equal amount of importance. They all earn their place in the arc. Adding even one more character to the main cast just risks overcrowding it. And if you want to give that additional character some importance, you're probably going to have to cut back on the other characters to leave space for the new one. Granted, the story is present in a game where it's Gohan's story mode, so he's gotta have the most importance. But for the people to say it's better than what we got, I just simply can't agree. It has good ideas and a stronger ending, I'll give it that. But replacing the face of the villain is the least of that arc's problems. And this is why Gohan Black would work infinitely better in Dragon Ball Fusions for the Nintendo 3DS.
Anyways, just real quick, just gonna go over some quick, unimportant stuff that I don't really care for that much, but that's just stuff I've been thinking about a lot.
What?
Does Gohan Black have Super Saiyan Rose? Like, hear me out. In the anime version, not the manga version of the Goku Black arc, Goku Black's Rose form is his equivalent of Super Saiyan. As in, like, he literally cannot access the yellow-haired Super Saiyan form. Rose is his regular Super Saiyan. And he unlocks it through fighting Goku when Goku was a Super Saiyan. And then the experience of that battle reawakens his own Super Saiyan form.
So, Goku, that's what the power of your exalted Super Saiyan transformation feels like. It's quite a different thing to experience how you fight firsthand now that I can apply it so directly to myself.
And Gohan Black went through the exact same thing. Does that mean he also has Rose? It's just that he used it off screen or something, maybe? To be fair, we never fight him in the first trip in the future, in Sparking Zero. And we know that Gohan Black only unveils his ultimate form during the second trip, which means Gohan must have fought him sometime in the first trip using his own ultimate form, which didn't happen in their first fight in the present. So Gohan must have fought him in the first trip, but it just happened off screen, I guess, maybe? And then they also explained that Gohan Black and Zamasu's combined strength was too much, so they had to retreat. But if Gohan Black still can't transform, does that mean his base form was enough to take on Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Vegeta, and Ultimate Gohan potentially all at the same time? Or did the Sparking Zero dudes just not think about it? Probably that one. But also, the power scaling for Gohan Black is a bit whack. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, not really at all, but, like, I just think it's funny to bring up. So, Gohan's ultimate form is, like, explicitly stated to have been stronger than Golden Frieza, right? Which would put him above Blue Goku and Vegeta as well. So I guess that means his ultimate form's multiplier is higher than Super Saiyan Blue, and then he starts training and becomes even stronger. When we get to the Gohan Black arc, they fight, and then presumably Gohan Black would have also gained access to his natural God Ki like Goku Black did in the anime, and would have gotten a massive boost to his base form, like Super Saiyan God multiplier level boosts and stuff. And then he goes ultimate on top of that, which means he would be busted as hell, man. But then ultimate Gohan's able to fight on par with him anyways, even though realistically Gohan Black should be much stronger. Also, I just think Rose as a form, like Goku Black using Rose as a form is much more interesting than Gohan Black using Gohan's ultimate form. Like, I understand why they did it in the What If, because so that way they're not just retreading over what Goku Black did. But also, I feel like Rose just works much better with Goku Black's hypocrisy. Because, you know, it's the same as Super Saiyan Blue. They're both Super Saiyan forms infused with God Ki. But because Black's hair is pink, he's like, oh, mine is pure and just, and yours is filthy and disgusting and impure, whatever. Whereas, and I guess you could still work that hypocrisy with the Sparking Zero version, but it's a lot more on the nose, because, like, in that one, they are just, Gohan and Gohan Black are straight up just using the same form. Gohan Black's like, oh, yours sucks. And he doesn't elaborate why his is good or anything. But, like, I like the Rose one because, like, there's more to it. It isn't just they're using the same form, but Goku Black's a hypocrite or whatever. There is a bit more to it. It's not as on the nose, and I like it a bit more than the Gohan Black version or whatever. And this is exactly why Gohan Black would work infinitely better in Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi for the Xbox 360.
I think his hair is stupid.
Oh, well, that's just rude, man.
Well, I mean, no, actually, let me talk about this, because, like, he's in his ultimate... Okay, so, he has the bang, implying that he's already in Ultimate form, because we see base Gohan's hair, and it's generic Super Gohan hair with the ugly Yamcha-looking haircut. And, like, then Gohan Black comes along and he has the bang, obviously, but that doesn't make sense, because the bang only appears when he's in Ultimate, but he has an Ultimate form, so what, does he go double Ultimate? Does he go double Mystic? How does that work? Or is he already in Ultimate, or is this just like a design change, because it ultimately doesn't matter, because they only had one model they needed to use and had to recolor quickly?
I thought they just thought it would be funny.
Anyways, getting back on track, Gohan being the only important character in the Gohan Black What If story is kind of excusable since it is a part of a Gohan story mode, so naturally he'd be the central character, you know, in a video game. Like, this is what confuses me the most when people say the Sparking Zero What If is better than the Goku Black arc, because the Gohan Black version is just so limited in being an additional video game story. Like, it just feels weird to put the two on the same level when the Gohan Black arc is just lacking so much. Which, to be fair, isn't Sparking Zero's fault. Like, I definitely don't think they were writing that with the intention of it being on par with the anime version. That just feels ridiculous. It's just meant to be a fun little what if story, like, and nothing more. But yeah, on its own, and for what it is, not as a replacement for the anime, but just as a fun little what if, the Gohan Black Sparking Zero story is perfectly A-okay, and I like it a lot. I don't want people's takeaways from this being that I hate Gohan Black in this game or anything, because I don't. Bandai, please make him playable.
Look, as my blue friend here was saying, we do not dislike Gohan Black. Again, as a gameplay feature, he was honestly really cool and a great surprise for the game. Minus the part where people leaked him because they can't stop putting him in thumbnails. It's Gohan Black. Like, he's been a popular fan theory even before Sparking Zero came out. In fact, I feel like this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't already, like, a popular idea in a lot of people's heads. But the simple fact of the matter is, Gohan Black just simply takes away a lot of the core elements of the story that was already pretty good.
Also, Goku Black is just way sexier.
So much sexier. Oh my god. Like, you're not even... Actually, no, let's even talk about the manga version, because, I mean, like, even if I don't like how he's written there, my god, does Toyotaro draw him with so much sauce. So much sauce.
Oh my, he looks so good,
So
bro.
cool.
He looks so...
To give an example of just how much sexier Goku Black is in comparison, here's our friend Thunder.
What do you think about Gohan Black?
I mean, he's a pretty cool character, don't get me wrong. I do enjoy...
And what do you think about Goku Black?
Goku Black? Are you kidding me? What an incredible being! I love the way that he's introduced. Everything about him is just amazing, and he's so very hot. That gaze I could never get enough of. It's... I could just... And with so many clones that he can form with his rift, oh, I could be and everywhere else.
Anyways, that's enough rambling about Sparking Zero. Now we're just gonna go over, I guess, the basic fan points, or whatever.
Zamasu is a hypocrite. Let's just get that out of the way. Zamasu's whole thing is a hypocrite, but a lot of his hypocrisy was intentionally written to be hypocrisy. But whenever people have, like, Zamasu acknowledge that Gohan's potential is so great, therefore I must steal this body, that's just hypocrisy without even realizing it's hypocrisy, because why the heck would Zamasu ever acknowledge that a mortal has potential? All he sees is, like everything Zamasu sees is at face value. It's just, that mortal has strength, I'm going to steal his body. And that's why he takes Goku's body. He sees that he has God Ki. With Gohan, it just being potential, it just doesn't work. Because, again, potential doesn't mean anything to Zamasu. It isn't until, like, Vegeta beats his ass in the Goku Black arc where he's like, oh, I see, you Saiyans are all about rage. Okay, I'll start using that now, I guess. He learns that later, which adds to...
It's something he specifically learns after taking the body. It isn't something... Like, under no circumstance would he even humor the idea of a mortal having potential prior to taking the body.
Even if he somehow was to see Gohan's journey, where, like, he's able to see his untapped potential of when he becomes, like, stronger. Like, we didn't want to talk about Mark's video much, but I think we should in this case, in regards to how Mark has this really cool idea where Zamasu sees, like, the life of Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan in front of him. He gets to Gohan, and then he sees him get this insane power boost from Cell, you know, the Super Saiyan 2 moment, but then, of course, he fumbles the moment, you know? He messes up. And hey, that's an interesting idea, but here's the thing. As soon as Zamasu sees Buu Saga Gohan, he would have lost immediate interest. Because he's like, this mortal has wasted all this power, he disgusts me. While this mortal, Goku, just kept getting stronger, kept training despite of everything, and is still long since surpassed Gohan. He's going to take Goku's body. There is just not a world where I can physically see Zamasu looking at Gohan and saying, yep, that's the body I want to take. It just doesn't work.
Also, just real quick, I want to mention, like, the people who are like, oh, if they make Gohan Black, it should be future Gohan Black. Future Gohan was weak as balls, man. He got cooked by the future androids who are weaker than the present androids, who are weaker than Imperfect Cell, who's weaker than Perfect Cell, who's weaker than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, who's weaker than Super Saiyan 2 Buu Saga Goku, who's probably weaker than base Dragon Ball Super Goku Black Art Goku.
Look, I typically do not care for power scaling and am more so focused on if the narrative can justify it. But it being future Gohan is just extremely stupid because, again, go back to our previous arguments about Gohan with Trunks. Trunks moved on. It's an insult at that point. All Trunks is gonna do is, get angry about it, which, hey, that's nice, cool. Trunks getting rageful over his mentor's face is neat, I guess, but there's not much substance there. It's like
there's not much substance long term. It's kind of just
especially if it's future we were talking about how present Gohan has barely much connection with Vegeta. Future Gohan has next to none. What is Vegeta gonna say? It's I guess that's kind of messed up. I guess I don't know who you are.
His speech against Goku Black cannot not a single aspect of it can work if you use future Gohan in the slightest.
It just
it's a different version of Gohan who he has no connection with. And it's probably a version where Zamasu would have had to have trained his body to get to that level. So Vegeta's whole speech about him just taking all of the hard effort from Goku whatever or Gohan or whatever, that doesn't work anymore.
Yep, that speech just cannot work. So yeah, future Gohan doesn't work either. I feel like that should be obvious. It's one of those things that on paper it sounds cool, but when you actually think more than 2 minutes about it, it just doesn't. Regardless, with all our points out there, with everything being said, I've finally come to the conclusion that Gohan Black would work infinitely better if it was Kibito instead of Zamasu. But genuinely though, that'd be way better. That'd be actually way better.
It would be big.
It would be big.
So yeah, that basically summarizes me and Solar's thoughts on the whole thing. First things first, shout out to Solar for helping me with this video. His channel is linked in the description. He makes a lot of cool Dragon Ball edit videos like I do, so if you like my stuff, you'll absolutely love his stuff. His stuff's great. Go check it out. He's got really good fight choreography, by the way. Second, I'd like to give a shout out to LavenderToonz for doing the art thumbnail thingy of Gohan Black in the thumbnail or whatever. She's got commissions open. She's a really great artist, and I'd suggest going out and commissioning her. She's great. Third, I'd like to thank Thunder for making a cameo in this video. She's also great. She streams on Twitch, so go check her out as well. But yeah, thanks for watching. This video's been on my mind for a while now. I've been thinking about making a video on this topic, and now I've finally gotten to do that. So yeah, I've got more analytical videos or more videos like this in general planned, so be on the lookout for that. If you like this video, you're in luck. Anyway, take care.